Ladies and gentlemen, we got the one and only bold last name Dacious in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Peace and blessings, man. How you feel?
I can't complain, bro. How this quarantine treating you?
It is what it is, man. Like I just noticed on my furniture, I got a big dark ass print of where I've been sitting at the last time.
Yeah, man, it's like crazy. It's the only time where everybody been sat down at the same time to focus.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, refocusing has definitely been on the menu. So, I mean, a lot of it positive and some not so positive, but nonetheless, I've been getting it in.
That's what's up. What's up? So, you've been doing like any virtual shows lately?
I did a few, man. Like the Zoom shows for me are awful. Like I mean, stand up is an art form that people need to be present, like in front of you and you get a reaction instead of,
Yeah,
I'm used to people, I'm used to hearing laughter, not looking at a screen for laughter. So, I ain't 25, so I'm not good with my online capabilities like I should. So, seeing hearts for me, that it don't do nothing for me. So all the Zoom shows and stuff I've been grateful for them because they kind of held me down throughout this process, but they've been awful.
yeah.
I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna nickname it, man. It's been awful.
Yeah, man. It's like it's hard getting adjusted to it. Like I've been trying to pin the damn comment like ever since I started. I can't do it. And
I
then
saw
a couple
it up there, but it disappeared. So you was on to something. You was on to something, whether you know it or not.
dude, this technology is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't know that you couldn't do an IG live on the Mac. Like I opened up the Mac and was trying to do it, and I Googled it, and everybody was like, "Do it on your phone or your iPad." So I had to switch out at the very last minute.
Yeah, the same thing. Like when I was trying to listen to a couple of DJs going live through the laptop, and I'm like, I can't see nothing. Like it just froze.
Right.
It's
A lot
crazy,
of that.
man. But that's the times we in, man. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
We gonna get through this, even though Uptown in the house, we ain't gonna have no Teddy Riley moments.
No, not today.
Not
Not
today.
today. So, your early days in stand up, when did you know that you wanted to do stand up like for a career? Like you wanted that to be your main career?
Well, my first career was slinging crack. So, needless to say, that didn't work out. But, in the midst of that, as I got a little bit older, I started going to the comedy club. Like that was my release. And, that's back in the heyday of, Comic View, Def Comedy Jam. That was like 94,
Yeah,
early 95. And I was going to comedy shows and, that's how I released my little, that was my little release on the weekend. So, seeing the art form, I was already a fan, a comedy fan. So, seeing people perform and all that, and some of the people I respected, watching them, I'm not gonna say bomb, but not faring too well.
yeah,
I kind of said to myself, man, I can do this. So, of course, the drinks and all that give you energy, but
yep,
and the guts, but once I got caught with a substantial amount of cocaine, that's when I decided, maybe I should try something different. So it's not like this is something that I wanted to do, you know, in my life growing up. It just ended up being my calling. So and I'll
yeah.
accept that. I think that's even doper, honestly.
It is, because that adds to your story and
Right, right.
give a wider range that you can go from this point to that point. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
right.
A lot of
And
people
I
get
became
stuck.
a testimony and not just somebody that, that got a career, followed it, and had some moderate success. So I wouldn't have it no other way. I'd rather be a testimony and a cautionary tale or whatever.
Yeah. And during that time, that Def Comedy Jam era, that was like a time where hip hop was merging with everything. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? It was so dope to have a platform where you could see hip hop comics and
Yeah,
people
a
like
lot of them.
fresh
Yeah,
to
a lot of
death doing their
them.
thing on the stage. And they had DJ Kid Capri spinning, and Uptown always been about presentation style and all of that.
Right.
So those comics that was coming to Def Comedy Jam, like some more DL, them niggas was sharp.
They already had, hip hop was a big influence in a lot of comedians I know live, and primarily mine. I can only speak for myself, but you can see how it's rubbed off on a lot of comedians.
Yeah,
Just like a lot of football players want to be rappers, and a lot of rappers want to be football players. I guess
yep,
we all admire each other as far as being dope at what you're doing, and I definitely hip hop was definitely high on my list of things to do when I was thinking career wise when I was young. So I
yeah.
had a little rap group and all that. When I was
Oh,
like,
for real?
yeah, man, yeah, I wanted to be a rapper, and I had lines, man. I'm not gonna front. Like I had some lines, man, but it didn't pan out, and thank God, because rap is so different now that I couldn't,
Yeah,
being a rapper right now that's dope and had success when rap was in its heyday, and now looking back, it would just destroy me. So,
yeah,
I look at my favorite rappers like Nas, Ghost, Big Daddy
yeah,
Kane, KRS-One. When I look at them, I know they have to look back and be like, "What the hell happened?" Like,
yeah, man.
but comedy and to a degree, comedians can do that too. Like, cause now you got the emergence of the video cats. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah,
coming up. Like a lot of guys that do like the little videos on Facebook and all that little funny videos. They
yeah,
jive call themselves comedians, just like a lot of these mumble rappers call themselves MCs. So
yeah,
everything changes, man. You just got to adapt. I used to be bitter about that. I used to hate it, but now they figured out this whole online thing and they know how to make it work. And you can't be mad at that. We
yeah.
old dudes got to learn how to use a computer.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like with the online comedians, some of them good, some of them garbage,
Yeah,
but your good was that you keep checking in on seeing their
right.
content and stuff like that.
It's a
And
few of them that
music,
I know that are actual comedians. Like when I worked with Country Wayne, the first time, I instantly hated him before I met him because I saw the way I feel like, I felt like, he took like a fast road to this and now he headline and
yeah,
here I am opening for a guy that I know that I would destroy on stage. At least that's the way I was feeling because you got to feel that way. It's a competition whether you want to admit it or not.
yeah,
But chopping it up with him afterwards, I'm just like, this dude want to be a comedian. You know what I mean? Like he's really studying the craft. And so I had nothing but respect for him since then. Same thing with like, Ryan Davis and a lot of guys and Tony Baker's like doing the voiceovers with the animals and all that. Like Tony Baker,
yeah,
the actual comedian, a funny dude. And, he brought attention to his craft by doing videos. I mean, that's a surefire way if you're good at it of gaining some shine, and I don't have
right.
no respect for that.
Right. Like and it's like that in all genres and all industries, like with the chefs, people just sharing their recipes and they're not a certified chef.
Right.
And you got people that went to school and went to Cordon Bleu and studied that shit, but you got somebody that's just sharing their home remedies, blowing up,
Yeah.
getting followers and stuff. That's the time period we living in.
That bitterness, man, it'll eat away at you. Like
Yeah,
I was bitter for a long time because I didn't understand how this works. Like it came a time like in the early 2000s. I was up to be on the morning show, in the area that I was living in Virginia. And everybody just knew I would be the new, because, back in the day, every dope comedian was like on the morning show. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, yep,
every city you went in, there was a dope comedian on the morning show. And that's how he got his shine. Like he hosted the biggest comedy show in the area and so on
yep,
and so forth. So when I didn't get it, you know, and I had all these people in my ear chirping about, how you let dude get that show and you supposed to be on it and that kind of stuff. Once you look at the big picture, man, when you get a little older and you look back in retrospect how things work. It's like, when it's your time, it's your time. You know,
Yeah.
and what's for you is always going to be for you. And
Yeah.
I look back now, the way radio is set up, it's all syndicated. So if I got on that morning show, it could have potentially ruined me. I wouldn't even be where I'm at in the comedy game now. I wouldn't be as sharp because I would have been handcuffed to a morning show, and I
Right.
wouldn't have been able to hit the road and own my craft like I have. So
Right.
things work out the way they're supposed to work out. There's no sense being mad or upset. Just move on. If I had that
Exactly.
grasp that concept back then, I would have been a lot better off. But a lesson learned is a lesson learned.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like even with the morning shows and the radio shows, now it ain't even that many people that listen to the morning shows
No,
anymore.
radio is
They
dead.
listening to podcasts.
Radio
Like
is dead. Yep.
they online with everybody else listening to the
Right.
podcast. And then
I
you
can't
got
even remember the
people,
last time I listened to the radio. Like I've had satellite in my car for the better part of 10 years. So
yeah,
radio has been dead a long time. It's just not the same. Everything's
it's
syndicated.
not.
You're listening to a show that's 3,000 miles away from you. It takes
Yeah,
away. It's not as organic as it used to be. I used to have a job, so being in my work truck, listening to the morning show in the morning and laughing and all that about stuff that's going on in the area around me, that no longer exists. And it made the day go by. By
yeah,
10 o'clock, I mean, from 6 to 10, which was the normal, I guess, morning show hours, it breezed through. So after 10, I'm eating lunch and then bam, I'm out of there. So
yeah.
it's definitely not the same, man. But like I said, looking back, hindsight is 2020, and I'm glad that I hit the road and became the animal that I am on stage now. Like there's no denying what I became. And if I was handcuffed to a morning show, that probably wouldn't have happened.
Right. And then like too, our radio back then was lit, like you said, because the DJs had more control. They
Yeah,
would break new artists, drop new songs, and be like, "Yo, check this out, this flyer." And
yep,
that's how a lot of artists got their shine.
yep.
Like now, everybody basically on their own, and
There you
then you
go.
got the machine that's replaying the garbage over and over again
Yep.
to the point where you
Same
find
fucking
yourself
song.
listening to it.
Yep.
So yeah, everything is pretty much different, but it's nice to see artists and like rappers, singers, and people like you that keep that authenticity about themselves, that carry themselves and that have their own identity. And a
Definitely.
lot of people don't understand that's what sets you apart from everybody else. When you got your
Definitely.
own thing, your own swag, that's what sets you apart. Like everybody can't be Beyonce. You know what
No.
I'm saying? Everybody can't be
Don't
Eddie
think.
Murphy. So
Don't
it's
get me
like when you
wrong.
got
I've
that
thought
thing,
about. Go ahead.
when you got that thing, like you what like on your Instagram, you fly all the time.
Yeah, that's
So
definitely my lane.
that's a
It's
difference
ridiculous, man.
between seeing a guy telling jokes on stage with just t-shirt on and sneakers, you know what I'm saying, that ain't
Yep.
dressed like no star. And we come from an era where we pay money to see stars. We want to see a star. We want to see
Right.
you step out on the stage and be cold from head to toe. And
Right.
you represent that. And that's one of the really big things that I noticed about you when I saw you on YouTube. I'm like, this nigga fly as hell. Like that just gets your attention like right
Appreciate
then and there. Like everybody don't have
that.
handkerchiefs.
I come from that era. Like, if you ain't fly, they gonna Jones on you, man. And that's the era
Yeah,
I was raised in. Even before. I mean, where I'm at now, I would say I dress age appropriate, but I put my spin on everything. It's become, the emancipation of me as far as fashion is concerned. But I was always fly once I got to a point where I could support myself. I was always
yeah,
I was always polo, Levi's, Wallabies. Like I came from that era of dope boy fresh, and that's
right.
the way I carried it. But as I got older and I started traveling with DL, I'm just like, this nigga sharp. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
I'd be out there with like a Louis belt and some Levi's and some Louis shoes and a Yankee hat turned backwards. I felt out of place. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking at the security guards. Everybody got custom suits on. Everybody's sharp, and